Hello and welcome to the Colorful Colored Republican. Happy New Year to everybody. We have a great show for you guys today. It's going to be a lot of politics, so go ahead and buckle in. We're going to start, of course, with Donald Trump over the break was speaking on multiple different territories, mainly Denmark, the Panama Canal, and Greenland, saying that America needs to make a play for these places. And he actually made a play for him, Greenland, before in his first term. But of course, any superpower, whether it be us or China, making a play for Greenland is definitely in the cards. And of course, Trump's just talking, seeing how everyone's going to react when what he's saying. Of course, he's not even in office, but of course, Donald Trump's going to give us his best. And he's saying what can we do as far as with territory with Greenland, with Denmark, with the Panama Canal? Out of all of them, I believe the Panama Canal is the most important one, of course, because if you were to travel around the whole South America, it'd take you about 12,000 extra kilometers if you didn't have the Panama Canal. Now, of course, the United States controlled the Panama Canal until, I believe, 1999, which when we gave it back to Panama, which they had control over it. But of course, they're going to make tariffs on any country going through that canal. And it's kind of weird, just to let you guys know how it goes, because you see the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean, they have different sea levels. So when you get to the Panama Canal, you get there, and then depending on what side you're on, they're going to have to fill up to lift your ship up or raise it down, just to get you on the ocean level of the next ocean you're trying to get to, from Pacific to Atlantic, obviously. But so they lift it or they drop it depending on what side you're going to. But which I think is interesting. But of course, we're paying tariffs for these things, of course, and we built it, we maintained it, we had so since the 70s. And we gave it back 20 years ago. But yeah, we built that, and we gave up control under the Clinton administration. One of the last things he did back in 1999. But yeah, if there's a lot of problems going on, why not give it back to us? Why not give us control of it? We'll make more money as far as maintaining it and make sure everyone, the demand is going to be well kept and the corruption is going to be low. And hey, Panama, hey, we're going to give you more money. Isn't that what you guys want? Is that the name of the game? We'll make sure you guys are collecting your funds the right way. We're going to not only give money, because the United States is not just only about money, but we'll help you out more with infrastructure, maintaining it. That's not a problem. Investing us more into Panama with different things, because it's not only about just money. It's about resources. It's about contractors. It's about infrastructure. It's about economies. All these different things that we can bring to the table. And for Panama to go back into this, absolutely, I would say yes. If I'm a country, a Latin American country, and the United States is asking to do something like this, yeah, absolutely do it. It is definitely in your favor to do this. So I definitely am on board for that. Now, of course, Greenland and Denmark, that however you want to slice it. I mean, it'd definitely be nice to pick one of these territories up. But of course, it's just like, and it's not surprising to me that Trump will float out the idea to have to name all three of these throughout his I think 2 weeks, he mentioned all three of these territories. So it's basically like a sweepstakes. Anybody who's interested, for us to pick you guys up, to help you guys infrastructure, your economy, to help with our trade, because you now know that trade is going to be the way it is with Trump for at least the next 4 years. So, hey, let's talk turkey. So, of course, any one of these, territories that want to better themselves and their economy and to have America's backing, military backing, economic, and definitely trade, Come on now, now's the time. Ring the bell. Talk to Trump. Especially now that when he's not in office. When he gets into office, it's gonna be a lot more difficult. So they talk turkey now. And I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're saying all the right things. We don't need the United States. Blah blah blah. They're gonna say that out there in the open, of course. But we all know the name of the game. We know that they're gonna go ahead and start saying, hey, well, we're saying that out loud, but behind closed doors, it's probably a different conversation. That's for starters. But of course, one of the main things happened during the 2024 election. We have the youth vote. The youth vote. Sorry, they were what 18. When we're talking about youth, we're talking about 18 to 29-year-olds. Trump swung them. He swung them in his favor. And now with his cabinet picks, you can imagine as far as how, the mainstream media is trying to label it. They're like, oh, no, he's picking all these different people and people are not liking it. But if you look at the polling for the 18 to 29-year-olds, 59% is pretty big, for them agreeing with the picks that Donald Trump's making, you're never going to get 100% in any group, of course. But for them being almost 60%, that's definitely something in his favor. And we can't squander this. We cannot squander this. That's why we have, as far as the influence we have now with people on social media, reporting the news on themselves, saying their opinions, especially out there when you have such biases on either side. People just try to get information and try to get, entertainment at the same time. And before, reporters would just, report the news. That's it. They wouldn't be a part of it. They wouldn't, infuse their opinion into the subject matter itself. And if they did, they let you know, like, I'm this or I'm that. They try to not say, oh no, I'm impartial, I'm in the middle, and then of course be full hardcore liberal. But that's what we have. And now with social media blowing up the way it is, I mean, can you imagine? Just do a little comparison here. Donald Trump does an interview with Joe Rogan, and of course, there's the powers that can be try to censor that, and they try their best. They couldn't do it. 50 million views on all different platforms. 50 million, and that's just the initial one. Of course, the numbers keep on going, keeps on growing, and that's for one broadcast. For a weekend, these liberal networks, for the whole day, they're lucky if they get 50,000. They're lucky if they get 50,000. I mean, come on. It's definitely a numbers game, and people are not trusting the media anymore. I mean, before, not even 20 years ago, people were polled for different things, what they like and they dislike. And for Congress, I believe it was their approval ratings were 9%, and rush hour traffic was at 11%. So you can imagine a person would rather be stuck in rush hour traffic than to deal with politicians and people in Congress and government. So that's it definitely moved over to the media. I mean, politics is still politics. You either you love it or you hate it. And when it's time to vote, you make your opinion and you vote. But the liberal mainstream media has not done itself any favors. The first time around when Trump was out, their ratings went up. It ballooned to 300% the first 2 years. And all these guys had different shows and new shows were made. And it was like, it was Trump TV. It was like, the Truman Show featuring Trump. And that's why I wholeheartedly believed that they were going to back him up in 2020. They were going to be less toxic. They're going to be like, okay, you know what? He definitely got us a lot of more money. We're going to go ahead and pivot and try to, talk to giving him a different, another chance or something like that. And then just go back and attacking him afterwards. But no, they believe the Kool-Aid that they, were drinking for the whole 4 years. They attacked him relentlessly for the whole 4 years. They, they hid the Hunter Biden laptop, which definitely would have, I mean, come on. If you want to say realistically that Trump would have lost for 30,000, 40,000 votes, if you would have just properly covered the Hunter Biden laptop, if you would have properly covered all these different things he had with China, with Russia, do you think that Biden would have won that election? Do you really think that was going to, as far as if you properly covered the story, because the first time around it was the Hillary Clinton server, right? We covered it, so of course, Trump won. The Hunter Biden laptop didn't cover it. Biden won. And now this time around, they wanted to manifest, these different things. Oh, okay, Trump, you're getting sued for this. No, Trump, we're trying to get you off the ballot. Oh, Trump, all these stories got all this network, news media coverage, and Trump still won. Now, of course, with Trump's case for this one, 2024, all these cases on him definitely manufactured 100%, because the mainstream, the liberal media, I don't want to say the mainstream media, the liberal media should be ashamed of themselves when they try to take Trump off the ballot. And it started slow. It started with, I believe, Oregon and Washington State, both of them, putting petitions saying that they're going to take Trump off the ballot after the primary. And it just kept on, it gained steam. I think it had about 12 or 14 different states that signed up saying that they were going to take Donald Trump off the ballot because they believed that he quite possibly did something in January 6th, and they believe that he's not qualified to run for president. So they were going to take him. They were taking him off the ballot. The only other time this ever happened in U.S. history was Abraham Lincoln, when they tried to take him off the ballot. Abraham Lincoln, of course, being the father of the Republican Party. A lot of liberals don't even know that. But that's the only other time that they try to take somebody off the ballot. And of course, this is definitely serious, because if November rolls around and you have these 14 states that are doing what they want and Trump is not on the ballot, anybody in that state would have to write him in. And of course, not everyone's going to write him in. So it definitely was important for the Supreme Court to jump on this. And they did. They jumped on it early. And kudos to them. You're going to tell me there's 5 conservative judges, 4 liberal judges. You're going to tell me all 9 of them supported Donald Trump in this. 9-0. 9-0. You would think the media would definitely get a hold of this story and say, you know what? Hey, liberals, hey, y'all need to slow it down. Slow it down. 9-0. That's historic right there. The history books are going to look at this time as madness, as you trying to circumvent the system, trying to get this man off the ballot illegally. And you didn't stop there. You would think, okay, we made a mistake. We shouldn't have done it. Supreme Court was there, for a reason, checking balances and all that good stuff. No, what you do after that? It started with Mar-a-Lago, with the FBI raiding his property illegally, because the president can declassify information as a president. Biden was the vice president. Vice presidents can't do that. So apples and oranges, absolutely. And Trump, being the president, can whatever information he has in his Mar-a-Lago, he can definitely just declassify it easily, no problem. As a president, you can do that. Biden had this information as the vice president. You don't have that power as the vice president. So definitely, one story is more viable than the other. But it started there. And then, of course, you try to take him off the ballot. You can't do that. Can't do that. 9-0. Okay, no. Jean Carroll, the sexual assault case, during a election season, after the primaries. Oh, this is happening. Okay, you were suing him for this. Okay, the 43 made up conviction charges. Just, okay, have that there. Oh, okay, we have the 2 shootings, because you're calling him an existential threat to democracy. You're calling him Hitler. Of course, people are they're going to believe what you're saying to them. They're going to believe that propaganda, because the mainstream media has power in that sense that, people are very influenceable. They're very impressionable. And if you keep on saying something over and over again, you don't think you're trying to condition them to do something. So they do that. And you think they would stop. They didn't stop there. They kept on going. And it definitely was historic as far as what Trump had to go through just to get this W. And it definitely is impressionable what was happening. But we have to build on that, though. We have the youngsters. This happened also under Ronald Reagan, when we had, I believe, the youngest Congress at that time, when they were all voted in during the 80s. And we grew from that. We had two terms of Ronald Reagan and one of George H.W. Bush. So for 12 years, Republicans were in power as far as the executive branch. So we need to build on this. We can't just, squander it. We have to make good legislation. I 100% back Trump trying to get the the corporate tax rate to 15 to 17%, mainly because you have Canada and you have Mexico. Their corporate taxes are 15, 17%. What are we telling people in those countries? Hey, look, we're going to have it very, close to these two countries. Ours was 35%. Before Trump, federal tax rate just 35%. I mean, absolutely maddening. It was just crazy. And now, of course, it's at 21%, but Trump's want to get it down to 15%. But only speculation is if you build your factories here, which is absolutely brilliant because you have to have an incentive to build here. And if you build here, you'll have a competitive corporate tax rate. That's number one. Number two, as far as shipping is concerned, you'll ship locally, nationally, but you don't have to go across the pond to, or across the borders to try to ship your merchandise throughout the United States. So it's definitely going to be a plus for anybody building the United States. And every job they build, of course, they're going to Americans, or people that want to live in America. So, of course, if you're going to work here, you're going to live here, you're going to pay our taxes, you're going to assimilate to what we're doing. So, of course, it's definitely a win doing that as far as an immigration and everything else is concerned, which I'm going to speak about on that later. But we have to build on this lead. We can't just be happy and sit on our laurels and think, okay, we have the executive branch, we have the Congress now, we have the Senate. No, we're good to go. No, we have to legislate. We can't just sit on our hands like Democrats do, because Democrats whine and complain the entire time. And then they get in office, they don't do anything, and they just keep on doing that same playbook. They don't do anything, and then they get voted out, and then they start complaining about what we were doing. And they started early because Trump hasn't even sworn in yet. But Republicans are starting early. They started before Trump won, because the GOP, they're trying to slash $20 billion out of the IRS's budget. If you guys don't know, that Joe Biden made a legislation, horrible legislation, giving the IRS $80 billion and them having extra agents. Oh, no, that's good. That's jobs, right? No, federal jobs are not real jobs. That's the government taking taxpayer money, putting people to work. And we're talking about IRS agents, extra IRS agents. What are they going to do? They're going to audit American companies. And when people keep on saying, oh, no, they're going to go for the big guy. 2 out of 3 jobs are out of mom and pops. Okay. Small businesses are the backbone of this economy. 2 out of 3 jobs are in companies that people have 50 employees or less. Okay. So don't tell me about the Teslas, the Microsoft, and everybody else. We're not talking about them. We're talking about the ones who are suffering from this legislation, from Biden did. And Biden's $80 billion extra to IRS. You think you're going to have all these extra agents and they're not going to audit extra companies and try to which is a total hassle, because you have to gather all these different years of what you're doing business. You have to prove it to the government, and you can't prove it. You just have to pay extra. That's how they do. And you have to defend yourself, get a lawyer, get an accountant, all these different things just to defend yourself. And then they say, okay, yeah, you don't have to pay the money. But all the costs, all the energy you have to do just for these audits, I mean, come on. Is there corrupt, companies out there? Yes, there is. But normally that stuff catches up to you. So you don't need extra auditors. But I definitely agree with, cutting with the IRS, and we started early. We could cut more. And, Elon and Vivek, you guys definitely, get into that, see how much we need to spend on these different places, these different government agencies here. And, Mike Johnson being endorsed, Mike Johnson being the Speaker of the House, being endorsed by Donald Trump is definitely big. A lot of people talking about, Elon Musk or Vivek's going to be the Speaker of the House. Oh, the Speaker of the House doesn't have to be in Congress. So all these different things. Elon, Vivek, you guys don't want that, man. You definitely guys don't want that. I mean, you got to deal with Republicans, we have the House, we have the Senate. But you got to deal with these congressmen and these senators, man. And these guys, you don't think they have some pork that they want to get back to their districts or their states? Come on now. Of course you have to deal with that. So you're not going to get rid of pork, 100%. You got to deal with all these different guys that, I can't back that unless we have X amount of things in our thing. So, of course, you have to play politics. God, the Speaker does to try to get these votes across. And, all we need is 218 from the Congress, and we need 51 from the Senate. And of course, we have to play these games, and why not have a politician do it? And is Mike Johnson the best guy for the job at the time? I believe he is. I believe he is. I believe he's right down the middle of the road. He's establishment enough, and he knows how to play politics that he's, not posing himself as against Trump. He's not being a never Trumper. So he's definitely on board with Trump's agenda. Trump sees that, endorsing Mike Johnson is definitely, it's an easy decision. No problem. I don't see anybody else doing that job. Good luck, Mike, because you got to deal with Republicans, and they're not the easiest bunch to deal with. And of course, Democrats, what are they saying? Oh no, talk with us. Talk to you guys. You guys were calling us existential threats to democracy, and you want us to talk to you. Talk to you guys. You guys were in power for 4 years. Talk to you guys. People always say that the Republicans are the party of no, but that's their job, though. If you're going to do a legislation that infringes on Americans' rights, and extra taxation is a form of, as far as infringing on people's rights, because people can't live the way they want to if they have to deal with your taxes. So of course the Republicans are going to say no. So, but a lot of the country has definitely adopted, hey, cut taxes, yeah, cut spending, be more efficient, absolutely, run it like a business. This is why that's why I jumped on the Trump train really, really early after Delaware in 2016. A businessman should run the country, I believe so, because being the president, you are the CEO of the United States. So have somebody that backs America, has America first, that doesn't like, oh no, please let me give you billions of dollars and please be our friends. We don't operate like that, man. We're the best country in the world, Craig. So, y'all come to us, y'all come correct. That's what we need to do. That's why we got Trump again. But speaking on different presidents, Jimmy Carter, he died just before New Year's. The man was 100 years old. He dies in Plains, Georgia. Jimmy Carter, of course, a famous one-term president. Him in the 70s, the most famous thing that he ever did was when the Iran hostages happened, when you have American citizens getting, I believe it was about 52 of them were held hostage. They were held hostage for 444 days in Iran. And he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. Democrats, I believe during his administration when it started, where as far as the Democrats being pacifists in the sense that, America, we're just like everybody else, we're not exceptional, and creating that attitude. And, of course, famously him starting his speech as far as a crisis of confidence, but he's the one that started it. If we're like everybody else, then what makes us special? And if we're like every other country in the world, we're not. We're the best. We're the best. It's not even close. I mean, we've just the three things that we've given the world, not just ourselves, are the world. We've given a car, airplane, radio. I'm gonna keep on going. The internet, social media. I mean, come on, all these different things that we've given the world. Any one of those things would be a great accomplishment. What has the world given us? IKEA. I mean, come on. Let's get real here. So, we're the best for a reason, but this crisis of confidence started with Jimmy Carter, I believe so, and he was just a one-term president, and it was easy for Ronald Reagan to come out there and just say, the United States is it's a beacon of light. People come, they come here for a reason. They see the exceptionalism that we have, the freedoms that we have. That people say that we have that in other countries too. No, you don't. When you're telling people like, oh no, France, Germany, it's not bad. When you're paying 60% of your income into the government, you're not like America. I mean, come on. I mean, America, we weren't like that until Ronald Reagan came around. The highest tax bracket was paying 70%. 70%. Can you imagine paying 70% of your money to the government? 70%. That's back in the 70s. And of course, Ronald Reagan, when he got elected, he lowered that to 35%. And that's definitely when America definitely blew up in the sense that economically, it had a steady rise, and we had everything else that came with it for the next 20 years. but it came from cutting taxes. It didn't come from, taxing people from 70%. And it was at 90% in the Great Depression. But that's another another story. But Jimmy Carter, him 100 years of life is definitely something, it's definitely a full life. He died where he lived in Plains, Georgia. He was a one-term president. And after, you know what? The first senator to endorse Jimmy Carter, ding, 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 Joe Biden. Joe Biden, he endorsed Jimmy Carter, the first senator to endorse Jimmy Carter back in the 70s. And lo and behold, you can imagine Joe Biden, he is, he's unfavorable, more unfavorable than Jimmy Carter, which was total, people always say, the stories about Jimmy Carter, and Joe Biden's unfavorability is double that of Jimmy Carter. So you can imagine what the history books are going to say about Joe, Sleepy Joe, of course, that's what we call him. But now we're going to talk about as far as Democrats and where they're going now. We always see the graph and see how everyone voted. And but there's changes coming to the Democratic Party. And I believe they've broken up to two different factions. Number one, of course, is always the never Trumpers, the ones like the Don Lemons out there in the world that'll, it doesn't matter what Donald Trump does. He can turn water. I'm not going to say that. That's sacrilegious. It doesn't matter what Donald Trump does. He's not going to be, as far as, yeah, we're going to have two different factions in the Democratic Party. Number one is the never Trumpers, of course, with the Don Lemons. They don't, they're never going to, believe in Donald Trump. It doesn't matter what he does. They're always going to disagree with him. They're always going to believe they're the ones, the head cheerleaders as far as existential threat to democracy. People like Joe Scarborough, singing this tune the entire time. And what's the first thing you do? As soon as he gets elected, you go meet this guy. I mean, come on. Look at it how people can see it. You say this guy's Hitler, existential threat to democracy. He gets voted in, and then you go and meet with him. How is this? How does this even look good on you? It looks like you're just going there to kiss the ring. And a lot of Democrats, they saw it the same way. I see it that way. I don't want to talk to Joe Scarborough. I say, hey, just get me back in the line, bro. Don't worry about it. I got other people I got to deal with before I get to you. All right, so. But Trump was definitely, courteous and seeing them, talking to them, giving them their own little 5 minutes for them going out there to Mar-a-Lago to go see him. So he was respectful in that aspect. He's better than I would. I would have definitely met with those guys. But they definitely broke into two factions. So you got the Joe Scarboroughs over here talking about, oh, no, we try to get the country together, the country's divided, blah, 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 all these different things. Yes, divided, but it's divided because of what you've done. It's divided of what you guys are doing. And definitely it's definitely can get better if you reach across the aisle and try to vote on different things that we're trying to do, especially when it comes to government efficiency, when it comes to cutting taxes and getting on board on Trump's agenda. But yeah, you have two people. You have two factions. You have the Don Lemons, never Trumpers over here, and the ones that are talking about, the Democrats could do better. They need to change their message. They need to be more moderate. I'm more in favor of that. But are they going to agree with Trump? I don't believe so. I don't think we should. We can ask them, hey, look, this is what we want to do. But if you want to vote for it, vote for it. But if not, we're going to try to talk to our own people. We got the majority. And it's very, very important because we have this year is very important because 2026 is around the corner and we need to maintain this lead we have. We don't want to lose the Senate to the Democrats. It's going to make Trump's, second half of his term definitely more troublesome than it needs to be. But that's why it's so important. This first year is very, very important. Pass that legislation. Get gas prices under $2 if you can. I mean, I know it's a big ask, but hey, Donald, you said 50%. It's some places it's like 270, 280. So It's under $2 if you want to get into that. Depends on what he can do about it, but definitely Trump 2.0 is gonna be a lot ready to go. Can you imagine Trump doing what he did in the first, term, and now he's got more experience under his belt and he's ready to go. He's got the right people there, and we got Elon on the team now. I mean, forget about it. I expect a fast start and transitioning to the Elon Musk. Elon Musk, okay, look, yeah, you're the Iron Man here in the Avengers here, and Trump, of course, is Captain America. But you speaking out loud on your immigration stance. If you guys didn't know that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, both of them, Vivek from India, and of course, Elon from South Africa. A lot of people don't know that, but yeah, both of them come from foreign families, and they're of course, praising the H-1B visas. These are the visas that let people from foreign countries come over to work here in America. And if you have a bachelor's degree, I believe 65,000 people, they're the ones that are allowed to, if you have a company vouch for you, they use a H-1B visa. If you have a doctor's degree or higher, it's about 20,000 people that are allowed in this country. And of course, okay, no problem. This is the number we have. That's the quota we have. Okay, Vivek, Elon, here you go. Here's the list of people you want. You want to increase the tech sector? Okay, go ahead and do it. You guys want to increase the medical sector? Go ahead and do that too. You guys have, where's the list? Here's the list of people we have. Okay, I'm going to look through them, see who has the best credentials, and we'll put them on top of the list. Of course, we're still going to do our things, and we're going to go ahead and we're definitely going to, vet them doing our job, but you guys have the pick of the litter. Just pick who you want. We're going to vet them. They're already on the list. They already put in their paperwork, and then all you guys do is put in the work, do what you got to do, but don't go out there and start talking like, okay, we're going to go ahead and start talking like, hey, this program is so great and everything else. Come on, guys, read the room. We won. MAGA is, as far as getting illegal immigrants out of here, we got that. But when you start talking about bringing more immigrants here, you're confusing us. And especially when Trump hasn't even sworn in yet. And also, why? I mean, if this thing were to leak out, okay, I got it. It leaked out. You guys are putting this thing on Twitter. What's going on over here? But you know what? It's an early test on what these guys are going to do. Vivek and Elon. Elon seems to like the drama because I guess he changed his profile picture. He put his name K Maximus or something like that. I don't know. So he seems like I like this drama, but brother, there's 330 million Americans, and plus a lot of media have a lot of coverages, and they spin a lot of narratives. So we'll see how much drama you like, brother. I mean, but it's too easy for you to stay out the limelight. You keep doing what you're doing, but I mean, you seem to like this drama, so we'll see how much you can take there. But I'm definitely the future is bright. Vivek and Elon, what they're going to do with the budget is they promised we spend about $6 trillion to $6.75 trillion every year, thanks to Biden. And Elon already is promising, we're going to cut the budget at $2 trillion. Brother, that's about 33%. Yeah. Can you look at the books first? Can you say, hey, look, we're going to do a good job. We're going to be efficient. Okay. Don't put a round number there. Why are you promising $2 trillion? Let it be like $500 billion. If it's $500 billion, you don't even say how much. Don't even give it a number. Just say we're going to cut into the budget. And then when you cut into it, it's only $500 billion you spend. Okay, we cut into the budget. You say you're going to cut into it. No problem. But if you say $2 trillion and you only give us $500 billion that you cut, what's going on, Elon? What's going on? You said this, all these different things. I don't know why he's setting at such a high bar. I don't know what kind of, people you got to deal with, because I mean, you got to remember, these people got to vote on what you want them to do. You can't wave a pen and just get rid of this budget the way you want to, So there's Republicans, they have to bless off of it. That's their right. Congress has the legislative branch is the power of the purse. So we got to deal with these 51. Well, it's 53 and the 218 different madmen and women in the Republican Party. And hopefully they can get back Trump on his agenda come January 20th. But that's the show, guys. We've been here for a while. Like, subscribe, check me out on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, What else is TikTok, IG, and Truth Social? Colorful, colored Republicans out here to stay. And just to let you guys know, I am Latino. We don't have a lot of representation out there in the Republican Party, but I definitely put that in my name just to let people know who I am and what I'm about. Like I could have put my name out there, but well, who is this guy? But you see the colorful colored Republican, you're like, okay, you already know who I am in 3 words. So I'm definitely, I'm enjoying the Trump administration, even in the transition that we have right now. Definitely going to be reporting more throughout the whole term. And we have to definitely reach out to Latinos because you can imagine Latinos are the #1 minority here in America. They make up 18% of the population, and that was before Biden opened up the floodgates, which we had about 10 million to 20 million illegal immigrants come over the Mexican border. So you can imagine how much that number from 18% has risen. But we definitely need some representation out there. We definitely, need to be conservative and Republican, and that's what we're doing. And I'm gonna see you guys in the next one.